Hello guys, hello everyone. I hope you are doing great. Today, welcome to this video first of all, and today we are going to talk about Flutter and see if you can create your own app or build your own startup with Flutter. And today, I'm going to make this video with Reddy, who has launched his own startup, which name is Folksable, which is sort kind of application designed only with Flutter as mobile tools, and he are going to share his experience with us, and I hope you are going to enjoy this video. Thanks for watching this and see you. Hello, Reddy.
Hi Fabrice, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm great, and you?
So we should we tell your viewers how we met?
Yes, I think we can just start, and but first of all, I will let you present yourself first. So before we
Okay,
get directly in, yes.
yeah. Hello, my name is Dhikshith Reddy. I'm from India, specifically from Telangana state. It's a state in India. So I've been working on this project called Folksable for almost 7 months now.
Okay.
Uh, so so what do you specifically want me to introduce about, like my
Oh,
background?
yes, your background first, like how did you start with
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah,
at college, and
yeah. So.
how did you learn first? Like, I don't know, for example, your
Mm.
different kind of language you have already, yeah, just
Oh
learn.
yeah, yeah. So since college, I always wanted to do something of my own, but I've never really got the opportunity. So I the opportunities weren't really great at the end of the college. So because it's a recession already, so I thought maybe I should do something. I've heard this quote somewhere. It's a great time to build something when it's a recession, and it's a great time to sell when it's
Okay.
bull market.
Hmm.
It's a great time to build something in a bear market and get to sell in bull market. So I thought it was a perfect timing. So I wondered what I could build. Just a guy. I'm just a sing alone. So just a guy with his computer alone in his room. So I thought about like various startups that I could do. So it got me thinking, like of the ideas that I was getting, they were all related to like the real world, like food delivery, all this Grubhub, all this kind of startups. They are all doing
Okay.
really well, but I realized that I couldn't do one of those by myself because it involves a lot of operations. It involves in physical world.
Hmm.
So uh, I thought I should avoid all of those trouble and just do something purely software, because real world is messy, right? We should like roam around and talk to all of the like the real world people, and ask them to agree upon with our idea and come on board. So it can be really hard and messy if I do my first startup, which is connected to real world. So I thought I should do something purely software that does not involve me going.
Yes, I think we got connection issues. Hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can
no,
you?
yes, I think we got some connection issues, and now,
Yeah. Were you able to hear me just 2 minutes ago,
yes, yes,
or
yes,
should I continue?
yes,
Should I continue or?
you can continue. Yes. Sure.
All right. Okay. So where I was in. So yeah. So I should do something completely pure software, which does not involve me going around the town and convincing anyone to do anything with me. So I thought I should do something purely software, which means there were only few things at the time which were like productivity apps, email clients, all
Mm-hmm.
these things that I've thought about. So at the end, I decided that for the size for my team, which is like one person. So
Yes.
I thought I should go with something that is big enough for me and not too big enough for the big companies, so
Mm.
that they get in. So I wondered what are those kinds of categories that I could use my skills in and uh, and build something great. So I thought I searched around and researched about it. So I finally found out this habit tracking category is nascent and very involved. Very few big companies are there, and there are a lot of scattered companies, and there is no one big startup in there. So I thought, if you know to is this to-do list app. It's a very famous app.
Yeah.
It has like 20 million revenue, $20 million revenue. So I thought I should do something in the productivity space, and I finally decided with habit tracking and like task management for individuals. So I focused more on habit tracking part of the area. So I brainstormed the idea and came up with a little few features that could put me very in a good position so that it is not pursued. So I searched about all these apps on the Play Store and the App Store, but there weren't any that had like inherent social experiences in them. So I
Okay.
wanted to build one. Uh, I wanted to build a social habit tracking product because habit tracking is hard by its alone. If you want to pursue a new habit, it's hard if you want to do it by yourself. So I wanted to build a social
Mm.
experience for that. So I checked. There was some habit share. Habit share was one of those which was released 8 years ago and hasn't been updated since 1 year. And there were like identity was one of the other ones which pursued social habit tracking, and that was just about it, and there were nothing else other than those two products. So I wanted to build uh, uh, one of those, and the identity, those guys, they shut down their company. So I reached out to their co-founder and asked them tips like, why did you have to shut down? Is there no market here? And
Oh,
asked
okay,
them.
okay. Before you just start with your own project, you decide to reach the co-founder of those
Yeah.
projects before to know their market, right?
Mhm.
Mm.
Because it will be completely like waste of my time if I went in and there was no market, right?
Sure.
Actually, Identity had a good market. They had like 10,000 users, I think. 10,000 downloads and 20,000 or so users. They were having the yeah, they were good. But 8 years ago, this habit share, the another startup, they were also had good downloads. And so I thought, so the both apps that were in this category did well. So there is
Mm.
like, I can infer that my product will also do a similarly well, like them, or better than them.
Okay, okay,
So so
okay.
I went on and started with designs. And so by background, I learned to program in college.
Okay.
So my first programming language was, I think, the ones they teach in
Python?
college, C language. Yeah, no, they taught us C language
Okay,
first
okay.
in college. Uh, oh, sorry, like the power was lost.
There is no problem. Take your time.
I need a white background to put on my laptop so that it will illuminate my face.
Okay.
White background.
Yeah.
Can you see me now?
Yes. Perfect.
Yeah, what I did was I just added a white color background in my screen.
Okay.
Yeah. So in college we taught C language, and I learned Python by myself.
Mm.
So for this, so 2 years ago I also started to learning Flutter. So
Okay.
it was my first experience with Flutter around 2 years ago.
Yes.
So
Before we talk about Flutter, like first of all, I was thinking about the name of your app, and it was Folksable. Yeah. Before we dive
yeah,
in technical part, I really want to know how did you decide to choose this name? I don't know. Like there is a lot of name you can choose for a project, but you just
yeah.
decide to start with Folksable. Yeah.
Yeah, it is Folksable, Folksable. So it is like summation of folks, and that people enable each other to do great things in their life. It's folks plus able. They allow themselves to do great things. So it was. So I searched a lot of domains. The domain wasn't available for the things that I wanted to do. So I just switched back to this. So it was a backup name for first. But at first I wanted to use goalpost, GOALPOST, because it's, yeah, so it's like a goal in, if you play what it's called, hockey, or I don't think it's hockey. Uh, yeah, doesn't matter. It's like it's the goal post, right? You want to reach there. It's the goal, and you want to reach there. So, but it's obvious. But there was no domain for that. So
Okay, yeah,
so I thought, yeah, and the social links were not possible, like Folksable, sorry, github.com/goalpost wasn't available, and twitter.com/Folksable wasn't available, and everything wasn't available. So I thought names don't really matter all that much, because like sometimes we think too much about the name, and we can change it in future if we don't want
yes,
to. So
of course.
yeah, so everything was available. Literally, like I made up this name, and every social media I went, YouTube was available, youtube.com/Folksable, that username. Twitter was available. Like every social link was available with that username. So I
Yes.
thought it was a perfect thing for my, and yeah, so I decided to go on with it. I honestly didn't waste a lot of time in naming my startup, because I'm not really good at naming things. uh,
Yeah,
you
I
should
think
check
I
my
think
code base.
that is also like a good way to do it. Like, if
Yeah.
you make sure that your name is available on most of platform, so you can
Mm.
just use it. Maybe later, I don't know, 2 years later, 3 years later, if you decide to change it or to rebrand it,
Mm.
you can do it. Like a lot of mark are doing right now. So
Yeah.
that is
And
uh,
also, one good thing is, if you search Folksable, the first result will be our website and our social links, because the SEO, it doesn't collide with other namespaces like Habit Tracker, Habit Now, Habit this that, because it's really hard to rank for some thing which has that common name in it.
mm,
So I went with this uncommon name.
yeah. And but by the way, what was, because you are just talking about the idea behind Folksable, I mean your project, and does it like something you experiment by yourself by saying that I want to create something which can mix like to-do list and social media, and yeah, how
Mm.
was the inspiration behind your project? I mean,
Yeah.
maybe you just wake up, I don't know, just one day and you say, no, I'm I want to create this project, but yeah.
Sure. So it's a good question actually. I was thinking about what was my inspiration, because it was some time back. So the main inspiration was like when I realized all of these social media apps that we were using were designed to hook us up to their platforms and constantly scroll through them. And actually, it's really easy in this day and age to forget what we really want to be, and what our like pursuits wants to be. It's really easy to forget. We are basically driven by notifications and uninvited emails at this point,
Mhm.
from the morning that we wake up to when we go to bed.
Mm.
It's always this it's like this decision tree of paths we go into. If we get this notification, we go there. If we get this notification, we go there. And it's like we are being driven by these algorithms and social media things. So we are more and more increasingly, we are not being ourselves, and we are just being driven by these calendar invites, and all of these things that take us in different directions. And it's really easy to forget what we really want, and it's really easy to forget what we really are. So uh, I wanted to make a product that allows us to be more
Independent.
more
Okay.
yeah, independent, and decisive, like be conscious about what we do in our everyday lives. So it's like, if you want to decide to get better at reading, if you want to read every Friday, Saturday, every other week, you should be able to find some time to do that, and you should not be able to like get distracted by other products. I know it's ironic to build another product like that, but I think it's working. It's working for some people, and the results show that it's really working. If you bring a social experience, if you see yourself and your friends doing the same things, you would also want to do the same thing, right? So
It's kind of
so I wanted to,
yeah.
yeah, it's kind of a motivator. And also in our product there is this section called rituals. It is a recurring habit that you want to do, and you can also add your friends onto the ritual. You can invite your friends onto the ritual, and you can collaboratively do it together. Have leaderboards, have like scores, who is doing well, and graphs and stats that will kind of motivate each other to do it better. Yeah, that was the motivation. The main motivator was to build something that allows us to be more intentional about our time and be more specific.
And there is something, the first time I just download the app, because I was very curious, and I think it is also the aim of the goal of this call we are just doing right now. It was the design. I see, like the first time I just download and connect myself, I create my account, and I was like, oh, the design is pretty interesting. And I have noticed that there was some kind of clock you have designed. Yeah. I don't know, for example, if this clock was with you, just it is custom clock, or maybe some package you have used.
Yeah, I'll tell you about the clock. Yeah, so what happened was, if you know Flutter, in 2019 there was this competition called Flutter clock competition, something like that, and actually that clock was the winner of that competition. It was some person in Europe. He made it open source.
Okay.
So as a rule of the competition, every participant should have their code open source. So he participated. I don't remember his name. I should actually remember his name, but thanks to him, like so he built the clock, and when I saw that clock, I immediately had a vision in my mind. So I could repurpose something like this, because my product is focused on productivity, right? So I thought I could repurpose this clock, and make the whole app and the concept based on the themes. And also, have you touched the clock? If you press on the clock, the theme will like instantly change the whole app across the app.
I really like this animation, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
So
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
The design, the goal was really to make the most beautiful product, like one of the most beautiful products out there in the market. So the design was a great focus of the product, to say the least. And to be honest, I'm not a designer. I did that, like, if you check my old apps, you would say these are built by two different people. My old apps were just the material UI, the material buttons and all the material style widgets by Google. Yeah, my old apps were all used to be like that. And I especially focused a lot on learning design and learning a lot of things around Figma. I learned Figma to do that. I did that in Figma, but the app came out to be completely different than how I designed it in Figma. So because my Flutter experience was better than my Figma experience, so I could use the Flutter itself as a design tool rather than just like building an app. So I used it as like also as a design tool. So yeah, the design was a big like a huge important stone for us.
Yeah. I really like the design, by the way. But like when you are talking, you seem like someone who have like different kind of skills. And my first question, not my first, but this question I think is very important for me, is how did you decide to launch a project? Even if I don't know, you could work with all your skill you have for someone, Because I think you're still young. I don't know your age, but
Yeah, I probably maybe I would have gotten a job if I searched for. But as I told you, like from college days, I really wanted to do something of my own and have my name on it actually.
Mm,
And like I like to own things. Like so when I thought about life in general, I thought that uh, so yeah. So I thought that most people. So uh, I come from a rural background. So in a like rural India, rural side of the India.
yeah.
So I thought when when people go for opportunities, they go to the urban cities and all of that for jobs and for a better life and all of these things. Like all the people around me when I grow up, they all moved on to some big other countries or huge populated metropolitan cities. But I really like to live in our birthplace, in our native
Mm,
in our place. So if I had to go to a job, then I really should have then like there are very few remote opportunities. So then I should move to a city. Then most of the expenses like I have to be living paycheck to paycheck. Then there wouldn't be many savings. There wouldn't be. So it's like you are trading for a city life, a part of your life. Like is that worth it? Like if I go for a job, then I have to move to a city, then it would be like I am earning to pay for this lifestyle. I'm earning to pay
okay.
for this lifestyle, but I actually don't really have that much to like.
Mm,
Uh, I don't have a lot dreams to buy big cars or big homes or anything like that. So I thought I'm still young actually. So I'm just 22. So
mm,
it's not that. So like yeah, I could afford some failures actually. At 22, if you think the life is already over, then it's not really. We live for a very long time. Thankfully, the science has advanced very well. So the life expectancy is up by like 70, 60s, 70s. So it's it doesn't really matter what you do in like your 20s. If you ask many successful people, they don't really remember much of their 20s. It's
mm.
just trying to figure out a lot of things and failing a lot of things and just trying to get where they are at. But it doesn't really matter in your 20s if you fail. That's what I felt. Of course, it
I
depends
mean,
on the culture.
I mean, of course, I wish like your project are going to be very successful, but I mean, it really doesn't matter if, I don't know, in 2 or 3 years you want to change the
Yeah,
project or you want to restart something new because you are not going to lose anything. I mean, you are going to learn. Of course, currently, I suppose that you are learning like a lot of stuff and
yeah, a lot.
you are growing in your skills. And but by the way, what is the structure of your now we are going to talk more of the technical part, but
Oh,
what is the
okay.
structure of your project? Are you using I don't know what kind of service you are using for your backend? Is it with Python, Node.js, I don't know, TypeScript, or what kind of techno backend, frontend, and what kind of deep
Hmm.
you are currently using for your full project? Because I mean you are alone, so you have some kind of full stack.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, full stack. Yeah, before going to that, can you please confirm that I'm clearly audible and my video is like
yeah,
not stuttering
no,
and
everything is perfect. Don't worry.
yeah,
It's
okay,
not
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, so before deciding to build the app, the clear choice was Flutter because when I was experiencing Flutter, and I knew JavaScript, so I was thinking about Flutter or React Native. Uh,
Yes.
so for yeah, so I knew JavaScript and I knew Dart both, but I knew JavaScript just for the backend, Express, not just that type of thing for the backend. But I didn't really know JavaScript. My biggest hurdle was CSS. I don't really know CSS that very well, but Flutter, the styling part is like integrated into the Dart language. Right? The column, rows, and the grid box and the list view, they all just combine. There is no need for CSS. So I thought I started looking into CSS, and I thought this is not for me. I can't do CSS a lot and really well. So I thought, yeah, Flutter is the way to go. And actually, the animations are really 60 FPS, 120 FPS. You can get 120 FPS in Flutter. So the front end client part was clear to me that I was going to build it in Flutter,
Okay.
and the backend part the backend part. So I think I overdid it. I should have just gone for the Superbase or Firebase or one of these like out of the box backend as a solution platform. But I don't know. I thought I should somehow I decided to go with the custom backends, because at the time we got into this Microsoft for Startups program, which gave us $1,000 of credit in their AWS. Sorry, AWS. It's not AWS. What is it? Azure. Sorry. Yeah,
Okay,
it
so
is Azure. Azure
it
Cloud.
was Microsoft or what?
Yeah,
What?
Microsoft.
Okay.
Microsoft.
And it was like online or I don't know.
Yeah, it's online. You can apply if you want to.
Okay.
Anyone can apply for that, and it's a pretty high chance that they will also give you that credits, $1,000 of credits for 1 year. So we got that. It's a huge help. It's very helpful for us in that regard. It's not us, it's just me. I'm just saying it's us. It's just me. So uh, yeah, the backend part is there is Node.js and Express.js server, backend server, and it connects to our front end, and the front end has a DO client. Do you know that DO package? It's a
Yes.
HTTP library.
Mm.
Yeah, so there's a good article on like how to build an reusable networking stack in your Flutter apps. For I'll add it later for you. I'll send it a message. There was a 5-part article. So I used that as a front end client, and the back end part was Node.js, Express.js. These two things form our core part, which accepts the connections and responds to the backend. And the database was PostgreSQL, because I knew PostgreSQL, and I worked with it before, and I knew SQL very well.
Mm.
So I thought maybe yeah, because our data is also very relational, right? It's relational in nature. It's closer to GitHub, if you think of it like that. Our rituals are to tasks and rituals and users. All of these are very relational, inherently relational in their nature. So NoSQL doesn't make sense. Otherwise, if I go with NoSQL, I have to make a ton of copies, like so that I can emulate the relational behavior. So I went with PostgreSQL, because mainly our data was heavily relied into the relational part, and the front end of the back end was there is something called HA proxy. HA proxy, it's a reverse proxy.
Yes.
It will accept connections and just forward it to the Node.js and another part, and the Node.js part just process the request and connects to the backend and sends back as a response to the
Okay.
front end. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay, that's pretty interesting and as architecture. And currently, I mean, what kind of server do you use for deployment? I mean, the backend and the API service. Yeah.
Yeah, as I told, it's a custom Azure computing instance. If you know AWS EC2 instance,
Okay.
it's computing instance. Similarly, there is an equivalent in the Azure land for that
Mm.
computing instance. So we are using, it's a virtual machine, to be honest. It's a virtual machine, and it's a Linux-based virtual machine. And I just SSH into it, SSH login into it,
Mm.
and I install and set up all the machine at
Okay.
first, and then so the backend runs on the Linux machine, Ubuntu, and it runs on Ubuntu machine.
Okay, that's pretty nice. And on Flutter specifically, are you using some kind of state management tools?
Yeah,
Or if
yeah.
yes,
So Yeah, so I'm using Redux package. Flutter underscore Redux is
Oh, okay. That
a
that
Flutter version of Redux.
that's pretty
Yeah.
interesting because it is not very common to see people who say that they are using like
Yeah.
Flutter, Redux. Yeah, I mean, for me, it is also the first time I hear someone saying that he's
Oh,
Flutter.
yeah. I think the common ones are Riverpod and
Yeah,
Blog.
Riverpod or blog, yeah, or just maybe just provider, the basis provider
Yeah.
a lot of time. And how did you decide to use Redux?
Yeah, Redux because it is a very well-known thing in the JavaScript land, in the front
Mm,
end, in the web developers landscape. It's a very common thing to use. And also, if I bring someone tomorrow, they will like pretty quickly understand what Redux is and the architecture of Redux, actions, and actions go into the store, and store puts
mm.
up a new data,
I think
and
I think
it
I
becomes
think
an immutable cycle.
yeah.
Immutable cycle. Yeah.
Mm. I think especially people are who are coming from, I don't know, React, for example, are going to
Mm.
understand it like very fast. Of course, personally, I use it also with React. So yeah. And
Mm.
what are I don't know the difficulties you have already encountered with Flutter first, like or when you just start building your app. Yeah.
Yeah, so the difficulties with Flutter, as far as I can remember, were maybe it was my skill issue probably because I couldn't get the layouts perfectly aligned. Layouts in the sense like uh, if it's a big screen, how sometimes the things would just blow up and it looks very huge and
Mm,
they're not proportionate. Making it really responsive and adaptive to the screen sizes. Uh, that was one issue. And Flutter, there was this one package called Responsive Framework on pub.dev. It solved a lot of the issues uh, for me. So I after checking out that package and implementing that package in our app, it worked like really well. It worked like magic, and now it's good. It's working good.
mm,
Yeah. So one thing was responsiveness, making it trying to responsive. And second issue I faced was trying to make the UI look very custom to
mm,
me, because if you want to go with the material or Cupertino, everything it's available for you. Cupertino has everything you want to make the app look like a native iOS app, and material has all the things that you would want to make your app look like the Android app. But
sure.
if you want to go custom, you have to build everything yourself, man, like everything yourself. uh, so that was a huge so that's why our code base grew to like 70,000 lines of code.
Mm,
Just the Flutter code base grew to like 70,000, and it was huge. It's a lot of lines of code and a lot of amount of code. So that was one. And also, I don't like that Dart is like verbose. It's like similar to Java. It's like very verbose. I have to write anything
mm,
super dot in it, and the class structure. Kotlin is much like modern in that sense. Kotlin and Swift are both very modern, and Dart is like it's like one of the old school languages like Java. It's very verbose and you have to type it out everything. Um, but also the Copilot helps really really well in my case. Copilot, GitHub Copilot, if you're on it, it's really helpful for me when I just document something and it just writes out the rest of the code. Yeah, so it's really helpful in that regard.
oh, okay. That's pretty interesting. Yes. So, I had another question, of course. Like, how long did it take you to design the first version of your app? Like when you think about the idea, I mean, you don't build anything just in one day, so maybe it takes time. So, how long did it take you? I mean, you
Yeah.
still progress, but the first version, like the first release, you just publish on Google Play Store. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually don't remember when exactly I started working on it. I think. Yeah. So I started to learn Figma. I didn't know Figma existed or I should use Figma. I thought I should just build it on Flutter, right, as it is. So Figma was something that's very new to me, and it took a long time to uh, build the first version in Figma, and then I quickly scrapped the Figma out and continued to Flutter, because the thing is my Flutter experience is very well. It's better than my Figma experience, so I could really build great animations and all of those things in
Mm,
Flutter, and I feel right at home and native to me to build it in Flutter. So I started to scrap the Figma designs and continue to work in Flutter.
okay.
So I think it took me about 2 months to learn Figma, and it took a week to realize that Figma is not the best tool for me.
Mm,
And you should also like continue designing things in Flutter as well. If you know Flutter, if you're a developer in Flutter.
yeah.
So it's yeah.
Okay. So are you testing your app? Like, are you, I don't know, like,
Yeah, I wrote some unit tests. I wrote some
okay.
unit tests,
Okay.
but it's not covering the whole part. I didn't write the widget test. I didn't write all of the tests because I'm alone, and
Yes.
it's already hard to build the thing and doing it and doing the UI tests and all. Integration tests, I would recommend integration tests because they will test the whole product, right?
Mm,
Integration tests are really well if you want to do tests at all. So for me, I just did unit tests. The core part of the product, which is the ritual part. Ritual, it is like a Google Calendar, right? If you think about Google Calendar, if you add a recurring ritual that recurs every week, every Friday, every Saturday, every month, and you can, it's the same thing in my product as well. If you think about the rituals part, you can schedule it very versatilely. The schedules are, you can go from every day to all the way to every once in 5 years.
okay.
So the bandwidth, the dynamic range is very huge. So for that part, I had to design the system that emulates Google Calendar events that recur. So that can be tricky. So it took there were a lot of inscrutable bugs in there. So I found out it's good to test that part alone because it's the core part of the product. So I just tested that alone.
Okay. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Seems pretty interesting. I think now we are going at the end of our interview, but before that, are you what is the future plan for your product? Like what is the future extension or do you have any kind of roadmap, or you just based on user feedback to
Yeah.
integrate your app? Yeah.
Yeah, I have a roadmap in mind, but it is not rigid, very rigid. It can change accordingly from user feedback.
Mm,
It is not very rigid and strict. So if the product goes in the directions where the users want it to take.
okay. Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So I'm currently working on the stats part. If you want to check your stats for your check-ins,
Okay.
I'm currently working on the stats.
Okay. Okay. That's pretty interesting. And how about your community building? Because I think your product is very um based, or the aim of your product is to help people so they can um not be very dependent from the social media app, but they can just have, they can plan
Hmm.
what they want to do and just do it and not be connected every time to their own social media app, right? And
Yeah.
I think maybe you just need some kind of community behind, or I don't know if
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
present on social media. Of course, later you can send me link. I will put it in the description of this video, so people who really want to test your app so they can check it. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that. It's a huge help from your side if you add that link for
Sure.
our community page and download it.
Mm,
But coming back to the social media part that we were talking about, I think somewhere in 2015 the social networking diverged from the friends based and the graph based to this influencer based, media based thing. If you look at Instagram in 2012, it was like really well designed, and it was based around your friends and what they share for you. And now it's like all of it is influencers and their media, and they're pushing this content. So the thing is that social networking was very good, and but social, when it came to, it evolved into social media, in the sense that one person shares this content, and there are huge boards of members that are forming communities among themselves around this person, and they're consuming this content. So it evolved in that direction. So yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, sure. You can continue. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so I wanted to keep it in the community part. I didn't want to take it in the direction of like content sharing and making the content so hooked up that in TikTok, if you scroll, if you keep scrolling and it happens automatically, it just kind of hijacks your cerebral mind, and it just goes on, continues, and until you realize, oh, it's been 4 hours. What we do now? It's kind of that situation. So I wanted to keep the social part of my app to be purely community based and driven by like this decentralized groups of people,
Okay.
not by like one person. So that's why that's why we have friends and not followers. If you
Yeah.
if you open the app, we have friends, we don't have like followers and all of that.
Yeah.
So
That,
I wanted to keep it that way.
yeah, that
So
is really good as philosophy behind the
Mhm.
product, like it changed now
Yeah,
for a lot of our social media app we got.
yeah,
Yes. Before we end, yeah, I don't know if you want to share maybe your screen so you can make some
yeah,
demonstration for people who are more,
yeah, sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll start sharing from another computer.
Yes,
Uh,
there is no problem.
For itself. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So
Okay.
this is the main home screen of the app, and this is the clock that we were talking about.
Yeah, sure.
So if you click on it, so I made it like to change the theme just by pressing the clock. So the theme is the important concept here.
Okay.
Yeah. So and also you can get into standby mode. Standby mode is this like full screen view of what's ahead in your day. It will show all the things you have one event today and just battery percentage on all these things.
Sure.
So this is for like when you want to keep your phone aside and keep doing your work. You
Okay.
can see this at a glance, and you can get back like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, let me get back to the thing. Yeah. So the app, when you open the app, it doesn't look like this. You have to log out. Yeah. So this is when
Mm.
this is the onboarding part. So you can just continue with Google, or you can continue with your email like this. Just fill in 3 fields and create your account here. Or if you have already the account, you can just log in. And we have this save screen.
Okay.
Folksable Google Smart Lock. This thing, it saves your account, and you can just one tap login. And yeah, so this is your home screen again. Here's your settings. Here's your profile screen, and this is where you share your check-ins. Check-ins in the sense, in other habit tracking apps, you just tick yes or no if you did it that day or not. So we went in a different route. So in our app, to mark something as done, you have to post a photo check-in so that others, your friends and your friends can see what you're checking in, and they can like and comment in future. So this is how you post. you click on this plus button. This is a dynamic bar. So you can see everything you have in advance. So on 26th, on today, I just have one thing. It's like go for cycling. On 27th, the tomorrow, I just have two things: shared ritual and get 4 hours of screen on time on my mobile. So it is for using less phone. This is leading to my podcast. So these are all what you have every day. You can check them like this, and you can just go back to your today screen here, and you can click anywhere. So these are per day. This is your event calendar as we call it. So it shows all events you have on each day.
Okay.
And to create a ritual, you just have to go into your ritual screen and drag this start new ritual. And when you slide it across, you get to the new screen where you get a few suggestions of what you might want to do. You can just click any one of these if you like. If you want to do journaling, go to journaling and click next. Or if you want to create a custom one, you can go into create a custom ritual and write down what you want to create. Add a background from this is from Unsplash repository. You can search for anything like baking, for example. You can search for baking, and you can get all these baking backgrounds. You can add one of these uh, bakes every day, every week. That's it. Something like that. Make friends. You can add your schedule. This is a part where you decide your schedule and your time. So let's say I want to do it at 7 p.m. once in a week. So I will keep it weekly on Sunday. So that on every Sunday, the dot represents that there is a event on that day, and the empty part is where you don't have the event. So I don't want to repeat it forever, so it's just going forever. I'll just keep it just for limited days. I'll do it until the February of 2024, and so I just chose the end date. So this is the end date. It ends on here. So now it's just showing 26 to 1st of February, and the dots is where we have the hit date. It's when we actually have to do the ritual, and it summarizes here. We have 10 events, ends on February 1, 2024, and it starts today. I can save it. I can invite friends if I want to. I can invite anyone so that they will also have the same ritual at the same time so that we can check in together by posting our photos. I can just click save, and yeah, congratulations, you're starting a new habit. So this is a process of how we create a new ritual. You can just share it with your friends like this and invite them. And now, if you can see, now I just had added a new ritual onto my today events. It wasn't there before, and now it's there. Yeah, so if I navigate to the next Sunday, 26th is this Sunday, and I will go to the 3rd of December. It's a Sunday again, so it has a bake takes every week. So I can navigate here like this. I can go to the next #2. #2 represents that it is the second event of this ritual. We can go to the 3rd event, and next the 4th event, and next is the 5th event. So it's only occurring on every Sunday, and it occurs every week. So you only have to do it every week, and you have clarity when it's so on Folksable. Unlike other apps, you have clear schedule. You would know in future what you have every day. This is called precise scheduling. Precise scheduling in the sense like you will exactly know what events you have on any given day. Uh, some other apps have things like unprecise scheduling where you say 3 weeks, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 5 times a week, and like five times a month, 10 times a month, but it's not precise. So we decided to choose to go with precise scheduling because it gives a lot of power and a habit making ability, because when you do it at the same time every week, every month, so the scheduling is very versatile as well. You can go weekly, you
Okay.
can go monthly, you can go monthly on fourth Saturday and yearly. And when you go custom, this is when you unlock the real customization. You have monthly, you can choose every 1 month, you can choose yearly. So for example, I'll just do a ritual where I'll have to do it every 2 weeks. That means I'll skip a week and I'll skip a week in between and do it every 2 weeks. So
Okay.
so as you can see, I have it on week every 2 weeks on Saturday and Sunday. The summarization is so Sunday I have it on 3rd and I don't have it on 3rd. 26th I have it on 26th and I don't have it on 3rd. I have it on 10th and I don't have it on 17th. So it's alternative like that. And also the Saturday it has it on 9th and it doesn't. It's alternative like that. And if you want to change it every 1 week, that means you will have it all every week. You will have it on Saturday and Sunday. It's very custom. You can play around with it. We have thought a lot about this and added all kinds of event or scheduling features. So you will not run out of ideas to plan your schedule
Okay. So
with our scheduler.
it is very customizable. Okay.
Yeah, you can customize. And
Yeah.
when you can check all your events every day, and when you want to post, you can just click here and post a ritual, click a picture, or just you can click a picture or just select it from your library. This is a front cam of the emulator,
Yes.
so you can just also pick a file. I think I don't have any recent files.
Yes,
Yeah, I'll drop
you can
one.
upload it. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you can just wait a minute. Yeah, this is a picture of myself. Yeah,
Okay. It looked pretty interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can just it's
Yes, I think we understand. Maybe you just need to restart the
yeah.
emulator, but never mind. Yeah, that is okay. Then that is pretty interesting. Yes. Okay. That was like a great presentation. I mean, your app is very great, and you are doing like a great job.
Thank you.
Now we are going to end. I don't know if you have something to say or to tell to people who are going to watch us. Yeah.
Yeah, I just have one thing to say. I think I would say to experiment a lot with Flutter and all of these new technologies that are emerging, and you'll at one point strike a gold, and I think you don't have to look back from then. There is a good documentation for Flutter. I think So the way we met Fabrice is when I posted something on Twitter. I posted a few a tweet thread about how you can better your Flutter and your Flutter skills, and Fabrice somehow we just met on LinkedIn. That's it.
Yeah. I think this is a good resume. And yeah, I want also to thank you for accepting just to this
Yeah.
interview, talking about your own experience with Flutter, sharing with us. I think these are going to motivate some people who really want to delve in this kind of technology, learn Flutter, or people who still using it and see that we can build like good stuff and good app with Flutter. So yeah, thanks you, Reddy, for coming.
Thank you, Fabrice. Thank you for having me and letting me share my experiences. It's a great honor to be on your channel. Flutter guys, right? It's Flutter guys.
Yes, that's right. Okay, thanks and see you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
We've reached 1K members in our Telegram communities with such amazing developers. Don't forget to join us and enjoy learning new things.